Welcome back to RGR, folks. It's Thursday night, and that means the Chief in the North himself, Mr. Seth Keysor, is here. How are you, pal?
I am doing extremely well, sort of. Getting nervous. I'm getting nervous because my mouth, once again, wrote a check my body can't cash, but we're going to have fun with it. It's going to be great. It wouldn't be YouTube without someone debasing themselves for others' entertainment.
Find your zen, bro. This is going to be fun. Folks, stay tuned for the pain. We're going to talk Jamaal and a lot of Chiefs, and then we'll, watch the festivities as it all unfurls here on RGR Football. This is going to be unique. This is going to be painful, at least for you. I don't think I'm going to care, but hey, it'll be great. How are you?
I am doing well right now. So I have the worst friends in the world. Because right now, Nate Taylor and Josh Briscoe, I'm texting them right now, letting them know that there's a link to this to maybe come on if they're able to. Josh has apparently a radio show, and Nate is in the middle of writing a bunch of stuff. Stay tuned, Chiefs fans. But I told them what's that, and they're like, "Oh, we could maybe pop on for that."
We're here for the pain.
Oh, yes, it's terrible, but I'm excited. It's a really fun week right now with all the speculation going on about a player that I'd love to talk about Julio Jones some more. I'd love to, even though the odds of the Chiefs landing him aren't great. But, I mean, now people are talking about maybe like a future first rounder or like a 2022 second rounder. At a certain point, you get crazy not to do it. But why should anyone take my word for anything? I'm about to eat a habanero for reasons.
Reasons we're unaware of.
I'm 36 years old, Ryan.
I wish I could say that. You're going to live, I'm pretty sure. Unless you have some kind of allergic reaction that we don't know. Do you have the EpiPen available is all I'm asking?
I think we got one in the vicinity. I'll probably be fine. Okay. It'll be fine. I've got my son, Tucker, my oldest son, my 15-year-old son. He wants to join me in this endeavor. And so he's going to join us. I told him he can chicken out if he wants. I said I would do it. But we've got, I've made sure to eat something. My wife made me a Philly cheesesteak and some, I don't know what it's called when you smash the bread. You smash the sandwich.
Panini?
A panini, yes. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that can't be a real thing. But yeah, she made me a panini. I've eaten some brownies, so my stomach's nice and full. I'm gonna have ice cream and milk. I'm a chicken, by the way. Like jalapenos are too hot for me. This is
gonna be great.
This is so okay. Before we're gonna talk a lot of Chiefs because we got some time, but I just want to clarify something. I'm both dumber and smarter than it seems based on me agreeing to do this. I'm dumber in the sense that I agreed to do something without really knowing the background. I'm smarter in that I didn't really realize what a habanero was. I figured it was like a slightly hotter cousin of a jalapeno. And I started doing some research the last couple of days, and I'm like, I'm spooked. Like, it's not great, but nothing that a buy drink can't help.
Gird your loins. You're going to be all right. I think you're going to be okay. Folks, a couple of business notes. If you like Philly cheesesteaks, I know a guy. And I do want to let this out of the bag. We weren't going to announce for a few weeks, but I am helping another channel that's about to launch. It's going to be Cook Time with Jake, a local Kansas City barbecue guy that's going to have a brand new channel. We're going to help him out. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to check that out. I'll have more for you here. If you're new to us, this is Chief in the North on Thursday nights. Yet we're here all week long. This is RGR Football. Make sure you like, sub, and hit that bell notification so you get the little notices on your phone. Evidently, like from my analytics, 87% of you are watching on a phone right now. So you need those little notifications, and they go a long way. If you're a super chatter, and Ben brought back, you're already in here, and I thank you very much. I am going to answer your question as well. If you're a super chatter, thank you very much. If you choose to help us out, you want to support the channel, that's great. But whatever dollar amount you go, please ask us something so we can get you something for it. And Seth, Ben was first again, just so you know.
Oh, Ben, thank you so much. And let me just say, as you make your decisions as to whether or not to drop a buck or two among the super chat, understand that I have court tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning, during which I'm going to be sitting there just like, and so just just take that into consideration. The horrible thing I'm going to do to myself, and oh my goodness, the clock just keeps moving, Ryan. Okay, so I'm just saying, just keep that in mind. Just think about that a little bit. I think that deserves some consideration.
Do you know this judge pretty well? You might have to have a little, sidebar before the actual event there, just so they know.
I actually know this judge very well. And I think he likes me. We get along well, but he is not of YouTube generation. And I have no idea how to even begin to explain this to him.
So self-inflicted pain is not going to help you.
Yeah, without him looking at me like I'm the biggest moron, he'd just be like, well, why would you say that? And I'd be like, Judge, I really don't have a good answer for you. Which, the reason I stopped being a defense attorney so I don't have to give answers like that, to where I can actually that, which, by the way, anyone watching who's practiced law, that is the worst feeling when you have an unfortunate situation where your client is pretty dead to rights. And the judge says, well, what about this? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you want me to say, Judge? And then so you have to think of something, and then the whole room gets really quiet while you just go on this 10-minute soliloquy that everyone in the room knows. The prosecutor, if law enforcement's in there, anyone who's involved in the system is like, oh yeah, he has to say this. Yeah, it's meaningless. So yeah, it's good times when you party hard. It's gonna be fun. Oh, I'm already sweating. This is terrible.
I want to know how it goes tomorrow. You're gonna have to fill me in over the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun.
Ben asked, who's the best looking out there amongst the newcomers? I still haven't seen any video of anything. I don't think they've released anything, but I will tell you this. One thing that does stand out to me is Chris Jones looks trim. So in terms of looking the best, he looks like he could be in for significant snaps out there on the edge.
And my understanding is, and now keep in mind something. Now, while the Chiefs, the PR team is separate from the football group, Andy Reid controls everything, and the pictures that get released, generally speaking, you're not going to have a lot of slip-ups there.
Yeah.
And so I know they've had multiple pictures of Jones looking like he's lining up at the end. And some of those things in terms of what it looks like the first team offensive line, and that kind of stuff, that stuff does matter a little. Now, Reid likes to rotate guys during this stuff, so it's not this positive, but it does matter. I know Creed Humphrey looked like he was lining up with the ones. That matters a bit. The fact that he might be getting a shot to at least do that, even in what is the least important of all practices. This isn't even training camp. In training camp, who lines up with where matters way more. And he still mixes it up then. But Jones, I know he's lined up a few times at defensive end, and he does look trim. Every year he's coming to camp looking a little bit trimmer, I've thought. Because I remember we were talking about this 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's a common theme. I'll say this about Creed, though. I like to see it now, even though these are unimportant practices. 15 is there. And if you're going to be the guy snapping to 15, I want every rep that you can possibly get from this moment forward until you have to be on a field with him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Take from it what you guys will. Stevie asked, do you think Eric and Andy will scheme a counter to the Raiders' new all safety defensive alignment? Yes, I think they will. I think Trey Smith as the 7th offensive lineman will work quite nicely. We'll see how many people go to the hospital in that kind of situation.
Do you need to play players besides safeties on defense? I'm not sure you do. Apparently,
John Gruden doesn't think so.
Yeah, I will say, with the Raiders, one thing that actually does intrigue me this time, the exercise bike is gone, Holly. One thing that intrigues me this year is how they handle the Raiders offense, because that's been a problem for them. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with the question, but that is something I've found myself thinking about fairly frequently, is that the Raiders offense has given them problems, which, it's just worth noting. And that's one thing, when you hear rumors about, who might sign where and that kind of stuff, I'm curious how they do against the Raiders this year, because Gruden's been generally a disaster, but he's done better against the Chiefs than most, which is just weird, right? It's a little weird.
I mean, I guess, but the victory lap game, that was significant defensive breakdowns. That was not anything the Raiders accomplished. So, let's be realistic. Dan and Tyron blew 2 plays.
Yeah.
Badger, you know how I feel about you. Don't get pissed. You
he's
made a mistake. It happens.
Yeah. It happens to absolutely everyone. I mean, so I totally get that. It's just been fascinating the problems they've managed to give the defense and see whether that's something that continues this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. Stevie, just give Seth Thursday night so we can do the weekly Julio Jones trades. What happens after there's a trade, though? Then what do we do? I think it's more stupid human tricks.
Yeah. There you go. I'll learn how to squirt milk out of my eye like that dude in Letterman back in the day. Stupid human tricks. Oh my goodness. Hey, Canadian Chief.
Where's Keith McLean? He said he was in here. Keith, say something. Show yourself.
Is that Keith?
I don't think that it is.
Just talking about God today. I'm here for it. Anytime you put a mic in front of me, there will be a reference somewhere. Man, Ryan, I'm so nervous, man. I can't get it together today. The Julio stuff, though, that's worth talking about. Okay. And you and I talked about it last week, so we don't have to bemoan the same points. But the cap hit isn't like outrageously bad for a player of his caliber. He was a stud last year prior to, I think it was a hammy that he went down with. And it's an interesting idea. I think about the idea of Julio with the Chiefs. And even if you think, okay, last year he was maybe the best receiver in the league before going down. Even if you consider that next year he won't be the best, but he's going to start that decline. I mean, the decline from what? The best to like the fourth best? It's just hard to not think about in terms of schematically what that does to opposing teams. And I really do think, and I've stressed this a couple times, I think that was the plan with Watkins. And the times that Watkins was healthy, you could see it start to come to fruition, and you could see the offense become just impossible to deal with. And Jones is, I mean, there's the difference in tiers there. It would be like if you're talking about similar type players, if you want to say it that way. In some respects, I guess you could say they are similar types. It's like saying Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman are similar types of players.
I'm glad you got there. I got this question on Monday night, and I didn't want to take you there. You went on your own, and I completely agree with you. There's similarities in that they're both physical. They're both a little bit bigger frame than the average guy in this league. But performance-wise, production-wise, ability in and out of routes and to dominate corners. Yeah. I'm sorry, as much as I like Sammy, he is not in Julio's league. It's not there.
Oh, yeah, it's not close.
This is quite drastic. And the only thing I will say is once you have a significant hamstring issue, it's very difficult to get that to go away, especially when you're over 30 years old. And that is a concern for me. Definitely.
And that's the thing, the medicals are going to matter, all that stuff. I think one thing worth noting, when I read the recent Athletic article that was written about him, at the very end, it basically said wherever he goes, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I like that.
Yeah.
And it is worth noting. I mean, I just don't think there's any way to properly compare Julio to any other player for the most part in the league. Tyreek Hill is at his peak is up there with Julio in terms of ability, but honestly, and how highly I think of Hill. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league. I think Julio Jones, when healthy, he has been at the level for the last decade almost that when people had conversations about the best receivers in the league, it was kind of like besides Julio.
Right.
Because he is great at everything. He's a tremendous deep threat, short, long. I mean, he can do anything. And that's just worth noting. There's not really a lot of comparing there.
Let's do this real quick. We don't have to get into Chiefs receivers. And thank you, Daryl Miller, for the super chat. I know there's two more I got to get to. We're going to get there in just a second. Let's do compare him to a couple of guys, and not in Kansas City. But when I take a look at him and the way that he has to be treated from a defensive standpoint, and like you said, hey, he's the best receiver that isn't Julio. That takes me back to two guys in particular, and I want to know what you think in comparison Julio to these two guys. First, old Yellowcoat, Ocho Cinco. In terms of skill level, I still have Julio above where Chad was.
I do too. I would say this. I mean, man, people forget because there's so many other things that go into it, like, the change to Ocho Cinco and that type of stuff. People forget how great Chad Johnson was at his apex. almost impossible to cover. A little quicker than Julio, but not remotely as physical. And Chad Johnson, he was great at everything. But in terms of being an explosive, just vertical speed, oddly enough, I think Julio has the edge on him, especially when you hit that early 30s portion of their career. And at the catch point, there really aren't a lot of players like Julio Jones. Like you're like in like the Calvin Johnson Megatron range of bully at the catch point stuff. And it's just hard to find guys that have explosive speed and also have quickness and are also, 6'3" and 230 or whatever he is. And also have incredible hands. And it also, that just doesn't happen. He's a more complete receiver than DeAndre Hopkins. And Hopkins is great. He's absolutely great, but he's not quite as explosive as Jones or quite as powerful. He really is. Jones is like one of those dudes that you'd build in a lab. Yeah. So what's the other one?
I agree with you, and I'll tell you this too. I think that Jones survives contact a lot better than Chad Johnson did. I'm just going to say that as well.
Yeah, no corners lining up saying, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get physical with Julio. Because, he will throw you out of the club. Can you imagine some 5'11", 190-pound corner? I'm going to press you. Are you, though?
Good luck with that, bro.
Is that what's going to happen here? And so it's fun to think about because he's also such a different style from Hill. And,
I like where you're at, though. I would put him above Nuke as well. I would have him, Hopkins, and Tyreek as 1, 2, 3 in this league right now today.
Yeah,
all being healthy, of course.
Yep. But and Diggs is just nipping at their heels. Diggs is a stud.
He's coming along. Yeah, I don't know that I'd put him right at 4, but I'd have to think about that. That's probably close. But for me, the one that gets really tight, and I don't know that I have Julio in front of him yet. If Julio can put together another year or two, maybe get himself a ring, I think I would. But how do you feel about Julio going up against T.O.?
Man, that's tough. It's easy to forget. Now, he's similar to Ocho Cinco. It's easy to forget how great Terrell Owens was and how great for an extended period of time. He was unbelievable for years and years and years. I think Julio, if he does exactly what he's been doing for another, even 3 years, or let's say he joined a team like Kansas City, right? And put up, 1,200 yards 3 years in a row on a Super Bowl team or two. I think he belongs in the conversation. And that's the level of player. I like that you're bringing these names up because people, I don't think really understand when you're talking about Julio Jones, the caliber of player you're talking about. And hey, he's 32. He's coming off an injury. So, and that's why he's available. People can say it's a cap thing. It's not exactly the deal. The man wants to win a ring. He's even said that, which, he's been apparent about it. But it's important to think about the caliber of player that you're getting there. You're talking about a guy who could have his name listed among the all-time greats here. And that's got to be taken into account. It's not like you're trading for, and again, I like Stephon Diggs a lot. I think he could have that, he could have a Hall of Fame career. But Julio Jones, if he retired tomorrow, has already had a Hall of Fame career. Yeah. And has had you're in the conversation, best 5 or 10 receivers of all time sort of career.
It's getting up there anyway. And don't worry, folks, I'm not going to go crazy. We're not talking about Randy Moss or Jerry Rice here. Believe me, that's not on the table for either
those
of those
guys are off limits.
Yeah, and they forever will be. You cannot convince me that someone will convince me that they're better than those two. Gooch, thanks for the super chat. You're being awful friendly for a guy who's about to light his face on fire, so that's nice of you. Mahomes cap hit 35, Frank at 24, Jones at 22, Tyreek at 20, landlord extension, and you want to take on Jones 15 million. Do you not want to become the Rams? Good point. Have to gut the team and go back to the Haley area. Don't ever say Haley to me again, Gooch.
Yeah. Well, the problem in the Haley era wasn't poor cap management. It was bad coaching and not enough talent on the team. Yeah. You're not going to go back to the Haley era while you have Andy Reid. I would note this. Mahomes' cap hit won't be 35 mil next year. They're going to do his cap hit was supposed to be huge this year. You notice it's not. They're going to do the exact same thing in terms of restructuring roster bonuses and guaranteed money stuff. Let's go, Rogue. Sorry, I just love that.
He just finds the button and he can't stop.
Yeah. So you have to understand that those cap numbers that you just gave, none of them except maybe Tyreek Hill will be that next year. Jones, they might restructure him again. They might not, but they can. Mahomes, they're going to restructure him. There's a reason his contract was built the way it is. They're going to play that game for probably the next 2 years. And then when you see that cap balloon in 2023 and 2024, then they're gonna pick a year to say, okay, we're letting you be that 60 million cap hit this year, and they're gonna plan other contracts around that. And so I think, I mean, you take a look at, like, if you go to Over the Cap's cap calculator and you just look at what 2022 and 2023 look like, the money's there. And Julio wouldn't be a $15 million hit next year. He would be this year, and the next 2 years are about 11 per, I believe. Right. And so, I mean, that's just maybe, semantics, 4 million here, 4 million there, but it does matter.
It adds up.
It does matter. Yep. And so you'd be locking in the roster for the next year or two for sure. And I'm perfectly comfortable with that, because then you get into the last year of his deal in year 3. There's no more guaranteed money. So if he's done, okay, you're done. If he's not, you keep him. And then in the meantime, the Clark contract, I don't know what they're going to do with Frank Clark's contract next year. I think he's got a lot riding on how this year goes. But
this might be a contract year.
Yes, this is a contract year for Frank Clark, because next year's the first year that they can save upwards over a dozen in terms of in terms of his contract. So I don't think most of those cap hits will look like that come this time next year. Similarly to how a lot of the cap hits, had you looked at them this time last year, they don't look the same anymore either. And that's just part of the churning that they do. But it is worth considering the cap implications for sure.
There's always that. Couple of notes here. Guys, you will see something from Gooch and Stevie. It's coming. We're working a couple of kinks out. You're going to see that show for the members. You got to go grab a membership, sign up. Doesn't matter what level. We're going to put it out for every member we got. When we get that start rolling, it's going to hopefully be weekly. I got one to take care of, and we'll have it for you soon. You'll get some extra from Gooch as well. Kansas City Chiefs, I see you out there. I see that you are angry. I missed a question from you. That's because this isn't a Q&A night. This is us doing our show. I will try to get to them, but don't get angry and don't start cussing at Aaron because I'm missing your questions. That's not. If
you're going to cuss at Aaron, you should do it for entirely different reasons.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the way that goes. But I get it, and I will try to come back to you when we do get into the questions later, as Seth's trying to breathe. We'll have time then.
That would be a good opportunity for sure.
Delwayne, thank you very much. You're down for an all. Matthew D. Yeah, hey, if they're going to play it, I'll play it. Jacob, what's keeping Tim Ward from making the 53-man roster? Right now, not a lot. I feel like it's his to make.
Absolutely.
Because Taco's going to be in front of him, so is Mike Dana.
Yep.
He can be the fourth as far as I can see right now.
Yeah. There's a spot to be grabbed there.
Right? I don't know that the rookie's enough to hold him off. And if Josh Kano goes to the practice squad, I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
Yeah, and Tim Ward is a difficult guy to project because limited snap counts. You just don't know enough. But he flashed some pretty interesting looking functional strength when he was out there. Like, he looked like he could do a few things. It's just so hard to know, whether that continues with a bigger sample size. But I think you're exactly right. There's not a lot keeping him from it right now, because they're going to have multiple defensive linemen that they're rotating around. Maybe the one thing that keeps him off the roster somehow is the depth at defensive tackle and them deciding they're going to utilize some of those guys to rotate them outside. That would be maybe the biggest threat at this point.
It's probably true. And Stevie, thank you again, as always. And folks, Stevie's working with Gooch. They're going to have something for you. But once Julio's traded, we will just do a crying episode.
Yeah. It will just make sad sounds. We'll have, that I Will Remember You song in the background. Here's the thing. Here's the great thing about the Julio speculation and stuff is it's, hey, Keith, it's the fun thing about the Julio speculation is that if they don't get him, I'm really okay. I think they got a good shot at being really good this year. And it's really getting hard not to become overly optimistic about the offensive line. People are picking through the pictures, at training camp. And, it from all appearances, it looked like Kyle Long might be getting the first shot at right guard. And wouldn't that be interesting? I mean, man, the ceiling of that line is intense.
Yeah, it's going to be really intriguing. And that gives me a good reason to do this right now. That line, if it was here 5 years ago, Jamaal Charles is still rushing. That's just how I feel, and I know you did a big piece on it. And folks, I'm sorry it's 25 minutes and I haven't gotten us here yet, but we have things to talk about.
Yes.
The Jamall talk is because Seth went and made every argument you can make about Jamall. And I just boil it down for everybody. Folks, go over to the Substack and read it all if you would. You just got to sign up for that, and that's right there at the screen below. That's the address, but it's a big deal.
Yes, and this one is actually unlocked for anyone to read. And part of that's because of how strongly I feel about this topic. So basically what I did was I took the 3 most common objections you hear to Jamaal Charles being in the Hall of Fame. I broke down why they're wrong based on who's already in the Hall of Fame, right? So like basically what happens with Jamaal Charles, it's usually like the longevity argument gets made, right? Yeah. And they say, well, you know, he only had 5 really great seasons. And the implication there is that's it, right? That's the end of the argument. That's dispositive. That's enough. However, when you look at that, you have to acknowledge the fact that Earl Campbell only had 5 elite seasons. Nobody's arguing that Earl Campbell shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. You want to know who only had 4 seasons where he rushed over 850 yards?
You
only
better
4.
not say Gale Sayers.
Marcus Allen.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, Gale Sayers only played a total of 7 seasons. He was only even near the top of the league in rushing for 5 seasons, essentially identical to Charles. And that's Sayers. No one's arguing that Gale Sayers shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because he was that great. And that's the point. You know, Terrell Davis made it. Larry Zonka made it. Look up these guys. See how many years they were great statistically. Mm-hmm. And then you can say, well, they had this, that, and going from. But by saying that, you are implicitly admitting that 5 seasons is enough if there's other stuff to take into consideration. And with Charles, there is. So I looked at that, and that kind of goes into, you know, some of the other arguments in terms of, you know, total rushing yards and stuff. Yeah. Look, if you think that Vinny Testaverde would be more worthy of a Hall of Fame inclusion than Patrick Mahomes, if Mahomes retired in 3 years, fine. Because Testaverde played forever. I mean, he's up there at the top in total yards, but that's not how this works. It's not the Hall of Longevity. It's the Hall of Fame. It celebrates greatness. And Jamaal Charles was great. And so if you check it out, I mean, I worked through the 3 main arguments one after another to show why they're not dispositive.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the biggest thing for me, there's 2 things here. And you know me, I'd talk about Jamaal Charles for the rest of the night if I could. I just want to do 2 minutes. The first is that everyone knows he leads the league all time in yards per carry. Everyone knows that. But now, because of the analytics we have available, we can look at things like rushing yards over expected. Right. Uh-huh. And we can look at things like expected points added, all those things. And the reality, and then when you look at those things, especially rushing yards over expected, which actually isolates for what he should have gained, there's everyone else right here. And then there's Jamaal Charles. Like he's like the Patrick Mahomes on that chart. And it is incredible to watch. And so with those things, that's his argument, is that he leads the league in 2 wildly important sets all time, the best to ever do it. And that should matter when we're trying to talk about the Hall of Fame. Barry Sanders doesn't lead the league in yards per carry all time. Jamaal Charles does. Jim Brown doesn't. Jamaal Charles does. And the second part is just this. Anyone that ever watched Jamaal Charles play, especially live, for the most part, it's not even hard.
No.
He was so great. And again, I'm not objective about Jamaal Charles. He's my favorite player of all time. And that'll probably never change because now I cover the team, you know, and that it changes things a little bit for you.
Yeah. It doesn't sink in as much. You're not as much of a fan as you were.
Yeah. But with Charles, I will never forget watching him against the Seattle Seahawks in 2014, 2015, I think 2014, in the cold in November, just take over a game against the Legion of Boom and was so clearly the best player on the field amongst, with Cam Chancellor on the field at his peak, Bobby Wagner's out there, and he was clearly the best player on the field, and it wasn't even close. Jamaal Charles was great, and I could talk about that forever. Poor
you won't get
Dan
any
sitting
argument
here.
from me, and you won't get any from Dan Harms, who just joined the stream.
Dan the man.
Welcome in, Dan. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I got this little trooper in my face, though.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm working on flipping here.
No, you're definitely not going to get any argument from me. Jamaal Charles is an amazing player. One of the reasons I got into doing what I'm doing now. So
right. And it leads us into this, and maybe we'll all take one. This is a great question from a member. Great Chief. 2 or 3 guys. Let's each pick one that, because of the slowed season last year due to COVID, who's a breakout guy for you? I'll go first because it's easy. And you guys know what I'm going to say. It's Willie Gay. So, I win.
You took mine.
Well, find another. I know Dan has one.
I do. It's going to be McCall Hardman. And a lot of it has to do with, I know he's, a draft pick that was before Willie Gay. But again, that this whole process of being not having last year's offseason, that really wears on a guy, especially someone who, was a defensive back, a quarterback before that, coming into college, really was not a finished product at Georgia, was drafted in the second round, probably before he should have been because of what he could be. And we're seeing that play out right now, that it takes a while to turn into what you're going to be. And I know that the Chiefs really like to use him as a yak guy, but they need to use him more as a downfield weapon, much like they did in the first season. I feel like they got away from that a little bit, and maybe it's because he didn't develop the way that he could have had he had that off season. So he didn't take that step that maybe was expected. I expect that to be this year.
That's great. All right, Seth, who you got?
Man, you guys took a couple of the ones that I think are more likely. I'm going to grab one that I'm thinking maybe is a little more under the radar and less likely, but I think could happen. I think Colin Saunders is a guy
Love it.
that was easy to forget about last year. We all fell in love with Tershawn Wharton, and I get that. Wharton's a freak, man. I get it. But Saunders is a guy who can do some stuff. He has some unique physical attributes, and I think defensive line, it's tough to learn in any other way except doing. Yeah. It's similar to offensive line in that respect. You got to get your hands on someone and learn the counters and moves at the pro level, and he just didn't have an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm really pulling for him. I like the kid. And
yeah.
Just don't go out with everybody to the barbecue joints, bro. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I was talking to my buddy in Honolulu, so everybody's bro today. I don't know why, you guys. I just hey.
So, bro.
If I talk to my cousins in Georgia, you'd be hearing me talk like a Southerner too. It happens. I don't know what to tell you. Good point, Cole. I do think that the addition of Jerome Reed helps Frank because of their relationship and what they were able to do in Seattle. So that makes perfect sense to me. Do either of you guys doubt that?
Not even a little bit.
I think those two play very well together, and it just is going to depend on which guy shows up with 55. If it really is a health thing, I mean, there's just nothing to be done about that at some point. Sometimes it just goes. But I mean, I sure hope to see it. I keep telling people, go take a look at 2018 in Seattle or 2019 when he was healthy, and you'll see a different player in terms of functional player strength.
I agree with you. Avery, I think they've done what they want to do. Kirkpatrick doesn't really excite me. I know they had interest in Poole, but I think with the Hughes trade, I think they're done there. Do you guys think they're done with the cornerback position as a whole, or they're just waiting for something to drop?
I think it's going to be Breeland or nobody. If Breeland doesn't come back, then I think that they're set, and that's what they're going to end up doing. I think that we don't really know what's happening, with I'm blanking on his name right now.
That guy.
That guy,
sure.
The corner that broke his leg.
Yep. Baker.
Baker.
Oh, that's such a bad feeling when that happens. It's like, I know the things with the letters and the words. There it is.
Exactly. Right. It's the worst thing because you're just like, this is live and people can see me screwing up. So, I think that DeAndre Baker, assuming that he's healthy, I know that he was at practice on the sideline and didn't get in today, but I don't know his status from the other couple of days. Was he out there running? Was he doing anything? I don't know anything about that, and we haven't heard anything. So that's really a wild card. I think they're waiting to show their hand about if Breeland comes back, they can really ease him along, maybe keep him under the radar. But if he doesn't, maybe they're ready to just say, hey, guess what? Go out there and earn your spot.
Evidently, Baker was out at practice today, wasn't participating in the drills. but he was doing movement. And that's a big thing. If he's out there on a bike,
Impressive.
it doesn't help me that much, but I'm feeling good about it as well. Anita, the badge looks good on you. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia, very good point. 439 with that busted foot. I do remember that. There's a lot there. Now, I mean,
I forgot about that. He ran under a 4-4 with a broken foot.
Right.
He's a cyborg.
Yeah.
Aaron, you are kicking butt, and I do appreciate it if I haven't said it lately.
Yes, hats off to Aaron.
And yeah, it takes a lot. Now Julio's over 30 now, so you can't put that performance right up to where he is today, but still it is indicative of where he started. We got a couple super chats, and then Seth, you might want to start limbering up here, man.
Oh. I see. I didn't miss it.
Oh no. We're T minus 10. We'll see if we actually get that off on time or not.
Man.
But I want to get some of these supers because y'all are supporting us. It's incredible, and I appreciate it. Gooch, thank you very much. Hearing of Long at guard, and we are not thinking Brown, Tooney, Creed, LDT, Long at right tackle. Is that not the best line that's my opinion. I'm glad they're trying Long at guard. It also depends on what kind of shape LDT's in. Between the two of them, they got to work into shape. I don't know that just because he's there today, it means anything, but
right.
I would like to see Long take snaps at tackle as well and just see where he's most comfortable, whether it's playing next to LDT or in front of him. Holly, thank you very much. Always supportive. This is for the Antacid Fund. I like that.
That's
very
funny.
Good. The supply run, like how in depth was the supply run, Seth? That's what I want to know.
It was. I was just texting my wife and my oldest son, like, can you please bring me antacid milk ice cream? So I went to Walmart. I got some vanilla ice cream, some milk, and some Pepto-Bismol Ultra.
There you go.
Which is apparently a thing. And this is my oldest son, Tucker. Tucker, say hi to the nice people.
How you doing, Tuck?
He is bringing in stuff. Grab 2 forks as well. 2 forks because we're both just gonna down these things, right?
Are you roasting them ahead of time?
No, we just I cut them in half, and he's going to eat half of one, and I'm gonna eat half of one because I'm a good father and I share experiences with my son.
I'm going to make an executive decision right here, and I'm going to tell you a fork and knife to remove the vein and the seeds is perfectly acceptable in this situation.
Is the vein and the seeds bad?
That's what's going to hurt you.
Yeah, that's what's going to give you the biggest problem.
Yeah. And the whole cheesesteak thing, capsaicin loves fat. It is fat soluble. So
yes.
You want to be a little careful with that as well.
Oh, I see. I thought the fuller the stomach I'd have, the better off I'd be. All right.
Oh, good Lord. So, then it just sits up here and tries to percolate your throat.
Yeah, you want to get it into that acid as soon as possible to get rid of it.
No! Everything I do is wrong. All right. So, Ryan, should I try out unplugging the headset here?
Yeah, give it a shot.
All right, we're going to give it a shot, people. Don't let us lose you. Oh, yeah, we could try. You want to grab that microphone, son? My son has a podcast of his own that he does. So he's got a mic here that maybe we'll plug in lieu of it, and we'll just see how this works. This is just real professional here.
Yeah, you know what? In the meantime, we'll distract you. Xanax, you're right. I've had to take down my drinking to try to work off this gut before y'all have to see me at camp. So I got about 20 pounds to go. You're not going to see me drinking on camera for a while. I am taking it back a little bit. Eugenius Bear, yeah, the free one's great. That's what you're doing now. Feel free. Gooch and Stevie will thank you. And, I have a few things baked in there, too, for the members as well. Female reactions. I'm working on it. Yeah. I got Holly and we got Anita. And, I mean, hey.
Natalie and.
Come on, man.
All right.
We're working.
All right.
Yep. You are good. You're a little bit quiet, but you're good. Tucker, you feeling all right?
I don't know yet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Let's spoon up some ice cream here. So you know what, Tucker, I'm going to embarrass you. So this is my son here. Tucker, go ahead and stand up. My height is a running joke among Chiefs Kingdom, and as you can see, it doesn't run in the family. That's the real reason I'm having him on here with me. Is I need someone to know that I need help disciplining him because he's too big now. Yeah.
Is that ice cream?
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be good.
It's that Blue Bunny vanilla.
It is that Blue Bunny vanilla.
We're not endorsed by Blue Bunny, folks, but just so you know. Gooch, I understand you're not happy with the Brown and Sanders slander. We'll get him back on track. I promise. We just have to let him burn off his face first.
Hey, Brown and Sanders are the two greatest running backs in history, for sure.
No, not even close. Neither of them.
They just happen to not lead the league in all times yard per carry. I'm just citing a stat. I
don't care. None of that matters to me.
Charles.
No one will ever be better than Sweetness. There is no other answer, and I will not listen to it if there is.
Oh, yes, Sweetness is okay. So you got those three, and everyone can fight to the death over which one. So Ryan was telling me that we're allowed to take out the what? The spine?
Seeds and the white pithy in there.
Oh, gotcha.
They
Like
call
the
it veins.
membrane.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to pick that apart? Don't touch your eyeballs, son.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch anything. If y'all got some nice rubber gloves on there, y'all been touching stuff.
I'm gonna stick with this. This is the dumbest thing. This is so stupid. I can't believe I gotta eat a stupid ghost pepper from you. Hey, do you wanna
This is great.
Mine too, please?
This is the greatest thing ever, maybe.
Yes, I'm very happy for everyone here. Everyone who is here. Oh, I suppose I gotta tweet this out. This is ridiculous, by the way. When you and I, Ryan, talked about me like working with you again, I didn't figure I would enter the stupid human tricks realm. So let me just share RGR football, folks. I think you've seen from our conversation, we generally do serious football talk here, at least to an extent, more or less. And this is not going to be the norm. So
no, it's not. It's going to get better right now, though. Hold on 1 second while you prepare for that, because the man who set all this in motion, our pal Josh Briscoe, is in the stream, folks.
Here we
Mr.
go.
Briscoe, how are you?
Do I get credit for all of this? By the way,
I'm giving it to
You
you.
already got a duck name after you.
I'll take it. I apologize for the fact that I'm shooting this entire thing like a Hunger Games movie because I'm currently trying to set up my phone on a tripod of some sort that's actually a thing of Clorox wipes. So from the 810 Studios.
I'm glad you're
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here, man.
It is good to see you.
This is amazing.
All right. Josh, you got radio to do, right?
Yeah. I got to get out of here in 15 minutes.
All right. So
I
hey,
have time to see you suffer.
you have time to see me suffer. So, Jamall Charles belongs in the Hall of Fame. I'm just getting all these takes out. Tucker, do you have any takes you want to get out on the Chiefs this next year before we do this?
I don't know.
Tucker, I got to know, who's your favorite Chiefs analyst?
If you say Josh, I will beat you. On a live YouTube stream. It will happen. I will give you. No. I am curious. Don't say me. Don't say me. Who's your favorite?
The one I watch the most would probably be Josh. So.
There you go.
There you go. Now,
Yes! And Tucker, you're my favorite Kaiser child. I want you to know that.
All right. You ready, son?
Sure.
All right. Here we go.
Oh. So we're going to start the clock here, folks. At 6:45 on the dot, my watch literally just changed. There's chewing. There's looking at each other. There's a little bit of pain starting on the man-child. The hood's off. It's getting hot in here.
Gotta take that whole hoodie off, probably.
Seth is beginning that regret phase.
So, like, I'm having one of those moments where it's like a test of manhood moment where you're trying to, like, determine how good an example you set. Oh, my goodness. It's so hot. Oh.
So, right?
He's done. He's out.
And he's out of here. Okay. Ice cream.
Yeah.
Tuck. It's okay, Tuck. Use the ice cream.
Already? Oh, Tucker can have it.
He
He
didn't write the check. He doesn't have to cash it.
Right?
Oh, my goodness.
Right.
Why?
So it feels like a bunch of tiny knives are stabbing my mouth.
I just made out with Satan.
Oh!
That's probably an accurate estimate.
Oh, this helped so much. Oh, but then it just comes back immediately.
Oh, it isn't a cure, dude.
I was about to say,
This is
you
a
know
treat.
how much fat's in ice cream?
Oh, now it's traveling.
It's probably using the ice cream as a way to get down and just light up your throat.
Yeah, you need the sugar. The sugar is what capsaicin doesn't like.
I still don't know exactly why this is happening.
Oh, you don't burp.
No.
Oh, who suggested this?
Oh, there was no
Who
suggestion.
was this again? Yeah. Oh.
It is Josh, your favorite analyst, right?
And this one's not my fault. No, the ghost pepper is going to be sort of my fault.
Folks, for the record, Seth voluntarily came up with this concept himself. I think in preparation for Josh's challenge.
Why are you picking on me when I'm down?
I just refuse to say no. So, hey, why not?
Water's bad, right?
Yes.
For any of you that happen to be firemen in Minnesota, I need you on standby, please.
This is unbelievable.
It's entertaining, that's for sure.
Is it? Okay, good. Because it doesn't feel that entertaining because all I'm doing is suffering. At least it's
I want you to know that the Gooch is here for it too.
Yeah.
A lot of people love to see you withstand this kind of suffering. So more power to you.
I'm glad you guys are happy.
There's a lot of faith in Tucker. I'm just saying.
You look discontent.
Well, I'm just sort of thinking about like what line we're walking morally right now. Of like, hey, we'll make this generally good man suffer for money. Like, what next week? Next week we're gonna take a finger. Like, we're gonna just have to take off.
This is like the end of Breaking Bad, where that one guy says, "You know, this all seems a little sketchy, morally speaking." It hurts so bad. I wanted to describe it, but if I let my mouth go without ice cream for even a second, it feels like I'm dying.
Have the sweat started yet?
Gasoline.
And then lit it on fire?
It's like that happens.
Oh.
You know, this might be my favorite thing that we've ever done together, Seth, because now I might have 5 minutes uninterrupted to speak. This is beautiful.
Oh, it just hit my stomach.
Gooch is with you on Barry and Jim and with me on Sweetness, and then he wants to start talking. Okay. Ben Brotbeck, thank you very much, as always.
I feel like, where are we at here? Oh, good. Josh had to go.
Yeah, his Clorox table fell down or something.
What does it mean when I'm sitting here writhing around hating myself while people throw money at the super chat?
I do not want to make an analogy.
I mean,
this is
you
family
can just think of
TV
it
here, people.
As like a supporting thing that for what you're doing. It's not like you're doing it for money. It's just people seeing it and like feel bad.
Yeah, you gotta put me through law school. Thanks, guys.
And Holly wants to help. I'm just saying, like, she's here for the ER fund.
The Keysor ER fund. Josh, I seriously cannot get over the look on your face right now.
Well, it's partially what I think. I just left the room and had to come back real quick. So I think it's partially what you guys are just sort of getting at in terms of just if you had to describe what's happening right now to someone else, I think you'd have a really hard time doing it. So I love that. And I think that you having to meet the consequences of your actions is very, very funny. Unlike whenever I get tased, when it won't be funny at all.
Enjoy.
I don't know. Just something for you to know, Josh. I said this earlier for everyone who's just joining us. I have court tomorrow morning at 8:30. And my understanding is it's not fun coming up. How you doing, son?
You say bye.
Why did you do this, Seth?
Because I said I would.
It's just attention, right?
I think the real question is, why did I do this?
Yeah, that is a better question.
Yeah, well, you definitely did it for attention.
I do get sort of paid for this.
Wait.
Fred makes a great point here. Fred says Ward's going to break out huge, and I think that's a great point.
I hope he's right. I'm really hoping he's right.
I'm sorry, guys.
Ward's
going to be a bench guy this year. So.
Well, not if they never sign a cornerback.
Even if they don't, I think that Baker will beat him out.
Man,
let's ask Josh about that topic from before. Do you think that there's any chance Breland returns? When he waits out the contract numbers.
I have to keep believing that there's a chance, because otherwise my head's going to explode. Like it makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. So I think there's still a chance. I think he's still keeping his doors open, but I'm not holding my breath anymore, which is deeply frustrating.
Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of the same boat. And Seth, don't lay down on your face. I'm
No,
just saying.
hello.
Are you laying down? Are you on the floor?
I think he's about to be.
Oh, it's not how I envisioned this stream.
Oh, the moment you stop eating ice cream. Oh.
Hey, Megan Close has a suggestion for you. Cucumber. I know your wife has some health food around there.
Okay.
Do we have
Megan just
Oh my
Megan just
son.
said try Seth. Megan said try cucumber, and then she said after that, but then have another habanero. It'll cancel it out. So do you have a second one?
Oh sure, yeah, it's like a negative and a positive charge.
Yeah. I think that's your solution here.
You know.
Oh, this is yes.
I just think, guys. I mean, we've all known each other, in exception of Dan. And Dan, I look forward to working with you for a number of years. It's going to be great. Think about how far we've gone. You see the man-sized Michael.
Just bite into it, man.
I might be learning something here. Thank you for that, Megan. I never
yes.
tried the cucumber thing.
I can't do it because I don't like cucumbers.
That sounds wrong.
I'm about to. It does.
I don't like cucumbers either. I would eat literally anything to make it stop.
I'm thinking right now what makes heat worse, so I can try to get you to do something counterintuitive.
Don't, yeah. You know, Seth, if you hit yourself in the head with something heavy, it.
I gotta say, you might have to go reverse psychology because he came up with this concept on his own.
That's true.
And that was with us taking out the spine. I mean, so we're probably at like 100,000 Scoville, whatever. Not like. Because that's, again, I just want to emphasize here. When I said, oh, yeah, I'd do that, you know, whatever. I thought habaneros were like a slightly hotter jalapeno. Ha! And they're not.
Seth, do you still have the stem?
Josh.
If you do me a favor and stop talking.
Boil that in some milk.
It says on here, it says if you take the stem and you rub it in your eyes, then it makes the whole thing go. It makes the pain go away.
Around your orifices. Yeah, so I can say now that, like, man, I'm gonna. Oh, my stomach. Oh, we're okay.
If on stream, I'll donate. I'll donate super chat. I'll do super chat.
If that happens, we'll cut the stream off very quickly.
Right.
I have never been more happy that I don't burp very often because I feel like it's killing me.
No, the burps are bad.
Hey, Tucker.
It's like vomiting up lava.
Just punch her in the stomach a little bit, Tucker. Just give him a little bop.
Don't punch me in the stomach, please. Tucker, had he thought about this in advance, he could have eaten like an orange bell pepper and taken advantage of this moment to claim dominance in the house. Because I would be completely helpless. He'd be like, hey, give me $1,000 for this ice cream. And I got to tell you, like, if I had this in front of me right now, if someone walked up to me and said, I've got this gallon of ice cream, but I need you to transfer $1,000 into my account right now, it'd be hard to say no.
Counselor, you're more devious than I thought.
I'll Venmo you $5, Tucker, to get rid of all the dairy in the house.
Hey, Michael Donegan said, try fresh mint.
Try fresh mint.
Just go outside.
Stop making drinks.
Fresh mint. Yeah, now we're just saying, if you rub some deodorant on your tongue, it'll be all better.
I'm in pain.
And mint is hot. I'm not going to do this. Oh, my nose. So I'm serious. I don't know.
My lips.
Those of you who haven't done this, it is it's an interesting experience because it's not so, it's unbearable, but bearable. Again, though, had someone not given me ice cream within, the first 10 seconds, because it doesn't feel like hot. It doesn't feel like there's heat on my tongue. It feels like there are needles stabbing my tongue.
I got the screen.
Oh, wow. There's a new RGR member named Joshua who said try garlic and oil. What an idea.
That's not me. That's a different Josh. There's a Joshua
That's someone else.
With an E at the end. Yeah.
Maybe if
He's
I
got
take
the
an
creative
actual
black and
needle,
white avatar.
Yeah.
If I take an actual needle and stab myself in the tongue, the blood will flow out.
Right into your throat.
Yeah, and it'll just help coat it. Oh, so son, what are your thoughts?
I mean, he's not eating ice cream, so.
He's eating less ice cream than me. It's embarrassing.
What I did is I put the cucumber on my mouth, thinking, because cucumber is like 98% water. So the heat is like,
Oh, son.
it's so like right here, just is peeling.
Oh.
I want to help
You
you.
ever been kicked in the face by a horse?
No.
I can't
Not
say
live to
that I
tell the
have.
tale.
Man.
If you have, I want to hear that story.
Now, here's the interesting thing, Josh, especially Josh, because you are in a weird way to thank for all this, because that's the only reason it occurred to anyone to think that I would actually do this. The ghost pepper, I looked this up, is supposed to be 4 or 5 times hotter than this.
I'm not doing that with you.
You're a smart kid.
Abandoned by my family.
No. Safely removing
No,
ourselves.
you can't do that, son.
Seth,
Your mom
Seth.
wouldn't let you.
I think Tucker has to be your press secretary going forward. You have to clear all stunts with him before you embark on these things.
The good news, I'm telling you, I'm going to end up eating like this entire gallon of ice cream tonight. And I think I just can't believe that my wife hasn't come in here yet, because I'm pretty sure she's watching.
No,
this.
she's laughing. When I got the cucumber.
We're watching Seth eat it.
She's like, I got a cucumber. I'm like,
Oh, she got a cucumber for you.
Oh,
My wife loves my son, and in the meantime is laughing at me.
To be fair, I think that's warranted.
Yeah.
Oh.
Although this
One
is an
more
interesting
ice
prospect
cream.
Gooch has. Brand new show only on the member channel, folks. Ghost Pepper Reality with Seth and Tucker.
$300.
For $300, you'd eat another one?
Yeah.
Tucker, you can't say things like that. People will hold you to it.
Do we have another one?
We don't have another
Dang
one.
it.
Oh, we got the one. Well, go eat the spine thing. Don't do that. Son.
yeah, go Tucker, do it, Tucker. I gotta go, but do it.
Hey, Casey, Chief, thank you. We're working on that.
It's like an
Ask me your
unwritten-
question from before again.
Out there, you go nuts. Oh my goodness! I just realized he put that on the ground where the chickens and ducks go.
Oh, they don't feel
Ouch.
They
That's
don't feel-
pre-seasoned
they
chicken.
don't-
That's what that is.
Yeah,
The heat
wow.
doesn't bother them.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That explains
I
why
gotta
that
go
one.
right now, guys. I gotta-
Well,
Yeah.
I gotta,
more or less.
All
I
right,
gotta
man.
get out of here. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for the invite. Tucker, Seth, good luck. I wish you
You're-
all the worst in terms of your.
You're a bad
Don't ask
person.
about the wall of faces.
See you later, buddy.
See you,
you
bud.
All right. So
Um,
now that I'm getting through it. Here, eat some more ice cream, son. It helps a lot. So here's what I would
My
say.
mouth is fine.
Yeah, my mouth is starting to feel a little better.
My intestines are like eating themselves.
No, like I am getting like this weird feeling in my stomach, which is ominous. So people who do hot foods, are either of you hot food aficionados? Ryan, Dan?
Yeah, I've
Yes.
eaten both the ghost pepper and a habanero pepper.
And scorpions.
Did you acquit yourself better than we have? It's okay to be honest.
Correct. I didn't feel anything with the habanero myself. The ghost pepper got me for probably about 5 to 6 minutes, but I was okay after that.
drastically.
No, that is man. So
I didn't
you
eat them
like-
whole either.
Man, you eat like hot food, man. That's
Well,
The
I used to
habanero-
before my Crohn's.
Oh,
I can't
man.
eat anything spicy now because of my Crohn's. But before, yeah, I used to just like eat habanero peppers
Oh.
why?
because they were
Anita,
good.
thank you. We'll eventually get back to the football thing. I mean,
Yes. All right.
I don't know.
Son, I love you. Thank you for participating in that. I'm gonna keep don't if you move that, I'm defending you. You can bring the milk. Hey, make sure to wash your hands before you do anything.
Coming next, the Keysor Home Creamery, so that they never run out of ice cream.
Yes. So okay, I'm ready to do a few more minutes on football, but I can't put the headset back on.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to.
Kansas City Chiefs, ask your question again, and we'll answer it just so we make sure we get you taken care of.
Yeah.
Anita, thank you for that. Casey, I'm glad your rib's okay.
Oh my.
Yeah, that can have been pleasant. I
Oh,
apologize.
Casey, I'm so sorry. Oh, actually, you know what? Hey, I'm sorry, Casey. Was that hard for you?
Seth is like, I'm still a nice guy, but wait, no, never mind.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, things you will never see again on this channel, folks. I hope that
Yeah,
this
I'm
was
not
pleasurable.
doing this again. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm feeling better though, mouth wise.
That's good.
It's not like an eternal thing. But yeah, we could play some game where it's like, guess the thing. Oh boy, that's too low. guess the player or eat the habanero or something like that. But no, I feel better now. So
Good.
what were we talking about?
Yeah, okay. It's just ice cream time. Kansas City Chiefs. Ask me your question one more time and we'll answer it. But I did want to clean up. Jamaal Charles, we answered him. We answered the Julio thing, but just where they are right now, just as a parting gift, give somebody, one guy that we haven't seen in Kansas City before, one of the newbies, the rookies, or the free agents. Mm-hmm. Who are you going to look at most? Like when you step into camp, who's the first person you really want to get a good look at?
Dan, you go ahead, man.
For me, it's Kyle Long because I 100%. This is what you get for being a nice guy, Seth. People will take your ideas. Yes, Kyle Long, I think, is going to be a starter on this offensive line, and I do think that we know that he was an ex-Pro Bowler, probably type All-Pro kind of caliber player. I think he can get back to that, and that year off is instrumental in getting that. Getting that back, getting your legs back under you, getting back into your body feeling good. And I want Kyle Long to do exactly what he did in Chicago and just bully every single person you can, because whether he's playing tackle or guard, he is going to manhandle people, and this offensive line is going to get an entirely new outlook on the way that you handle things up front. And it starts with the mentality. You have Brown now, you've got Long, you've got Humphrey, you've got all these guys that can come in and actually be people movers. That's something that they haven't had in forever. And I can't wait to see him fully healthy, looking like he used to in Chicago. Like I'm so excited.
I think that's really, really accurate as I check the dosage for this Pepto-Bismol.
Doesn't matter.
Chris,
Just drink the
sorry
bottle,
you had
man.
a bad day, but I'm glad you're here. Chris, that was nice of you to say. Thank you.
Thomas, I'm sorry you had a bad day. I'm
People
going
in real
to,
lives don't hurt themselves. Seth.
Yeah. What other channel is doing this for you right now?
He's not wrong.
Anyway, so here, hang on. I'm going to take this shot of Pepto, and then I'm going to answer the question.
Well, and Chiefs asked another question too that we need to expand upon.
Okay,
folks, we'll go a couple minutes over. We're not going to take you too long.
No.
Yeah, we took some of the football questions were gone while I sat there and writhed around in agony. I'm going to go with the same vein. If I'm not picking Kyle Long, I'm picking Lucas Niang, because both of those guys, I'm pretty confident in Creed Humphrey. So it's a toss-up between those two, right? Basically one of the new offensive linemen, because here's the deal. We're pretty sure we know what we're going to get from Brown. We're pretty sure we know what we're going to get from Tooney. Brown, maybe not positional, but the system switch. We'll see. He really understands how to play offensive line. He gets angles. He gets all that stuff. I think he's going to be fine. It's those three guys, center, right guard, right tackle, that you could have any series of events here. So I love the fact, and we talked about this before, that Veach grabbed some safety net guys with Austin Blythe and with Mike Remmers in particular, to make sure that you're not going to have a terrible time on that side. You grab some guys who have been average at the NFL level for a few years. Great idea. But those are the guys that could, in theory, like let's say if Kyle Long gets to his former form and Creed Humphrey is everything. Let's say he's like what Mitch Morse was as a rookie, right? I got to get my weekly Mitch Morse reference. The ceiling for this team is frightening. Because if you just need two of those guys to go really, really right and the other one to not go really, really wrong, and the offensive line suddenly becomes a top 5 unit in the NFL. And so Niang and Humphrey are guys I would watch just to see.
Yeah. For me, it's going to be Bolton, because it plays into this next one the Kansas City Chiefs asking, how do you improve the red zone defense? Well, it's about everybody being able to execute their assignment. That's what we haven't seen lately. They've been blowing off the ball in the front in short yardage in particular, but goal line as well. Like you have to have a cleaner path to accomplishing your assignment. I think that's what's going to be important. That comes down to having Reed and Noddy be in the middle, having your ends be able to hold up to doubles, because you're going to get a ton of them. If you think the Tampa Bay Bucs are not going to line up 6 linemen, a couple of tight ends, and try to cram it down your throat again, you're crazy. It's going to happen until the Chiefs prove that they can stop it. I like the fact that you have Reed. I think that changes things. And I'm really going to be watching Bolton, because I want to see what he can bring in terms of, I feel on college film, he's more aggressive to and through the hole than Hitchens has been. We're going to find out real quick if that is a coaching point or if that is the mentality of the player.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how many times we saw Matthew like looking around at why is no one covering him? Like you have
Right.
to be on the same page. And I think Anthony Hitchens now in his third season under Spags is also going to take that next step in getting everyone lined up where they need to be, and him being the player that we really thought we were going to be getting when they signed him from Dallas. And I think that is just as integral as it is, being with Matthew on the same page and getting those young guys up to speed.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I like what Hitchens said about the idea of never say everything has a price. Touché.
Mine's just really, really big, Gooch.
Yeah, mine's gonna be really big to do this again. That was bad. That was really hard, guys. That was like I haven't sworn. I almost killed my brand. Can you imagine I said like the D word or something?
The D word.
The D word.
I can't imagine that.
Darn.
Yep.
Hitchin talked about playing a little lighter this year.
Yeah.
Which I think would be interesting for him. If he can even just get a fraction of a second quicker, it would matter a great deal.
Dramatic.
For the defense.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Gooch, of course. Aaron, camp dates. Folks, if you want to kind of rendezvous with our GR for camp, I always go the last weekend so that they've got a game under their belt and you can see what the adjustments are. I want to see the last possible moments before they go behind closed doors so that I can evaluate the players that are getting the time. So they haven't announced the dates yet. We will let you guys know when we're going to be in town. I think Dan and I will definitely be able to sync up. Chris Clark will be there. Seth, I know you have a longer trip, so we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely. The times that we've been able to meet up at camp have been some of the most fun times. And at some point, we could just get like a big old round table with a mic in the middle with us, with Josh, with Nate, Matt, Derek, see if we can get, Kent, Craig, and those fellas. I mean, we could just have this whole big round table and have just a great time. It's always so much fun. BJ's always at camp. This year's obviously going to be kind of different for him. That would be so much fun. And if you've never been to camp, let me just tell fans, it's a good time. And you really get to see some things that it's a weird experience because you get to see the players talking a little bit, some of the things that they do. You get a chance to get a little more in-depth look at just things. You always find something that you didn't expect to see. And that's, or you can just talk about how shredded Darwin Thompson is, whatever.
We know what you'll do. Thomas, the link I'll put, it should be in the show notes. I'll put it up here on the screen in a second. Seth, what's the current coupon going?
Oh, sure. Go to bit.ly/Seth really hates money. And I'm dead serious. Here, I'm going to double check right now.
Oh, man.
That's something that, that Briscoe set up for you, right?
Yeah, Briscoe set that up.
That's funny.
Bit.ly/Seth really hates money. Try that out. I think that ought to bring you there. I just put it in the comments. And I'm going to copy paste to make sure that brings you to the right page.
Tells you that Seth really does this just because he loves to do it.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes. I've been doing this for over 10 years now. And let me just tell you, for the first about 6.5 years, well, and still, sure wasn't doing it for the money.
Nope.
But I love doing this. And by the way, if there's ever anyone who's watching this who, times are tough and even $12 a year is just too much because you're down to the necessities, shoot me an email. It's available on the Substack. DM me on Twitter. We'll figure something out because I never want money to be the reason someone can't read content. That would be ridiculous.
That's
awesome.
A very good point. That's what it all comes down to is spreading the word. We all started as writers for free. Every last one of us, even me, and I can't spell for nothing. So, you guys have definitely found the best form of media that I can do for you. Lego, real quick, Kamala Correa is going to be an outside linebacker. Probably, truthfully, he's a D that's small. Yeah, they're going to try him at Sam. He's wearing 45 right now. He will not be.
That's a terrible number. Gosh,
45.
That's such a bad number, man. That's not even number. That's not linebacker. It's like I'm in the middle, guys.
It's just a camp thing. He's wearing white 45. Mike Burton, the fullback's wearing red 45.
Oh man.
That's how you know you're probably on the bubble.
Yeah.
When it's like,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure there's not a number 15 walking around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that's tough. But 45. There's going to be some weird looking numbers this year. Seeing some of the stuff guys are doing, that's going to take some getting used to on my end.
Yeah, I want to say, Ben, you have been super, super generous in your support. Do not feel bad about anything. I scrolled too far. I can't put your message up there, but Ben Broadbeck, thank you very much. You have nothing to apologize for. We do this, we try to make this as something that can be entertaining. And we do try to make it work now. It's not my only career, but it is a career at this point. But we don't want anybody to miss out. So it is support is not required, and don't feel bad for a second. I want to get that out there. Chubby Bunny, I resemble that remark. That good Lord. Contribution for your toiletry requirements, my friend.
It's apparently a dose an hour. So I'm going to get hardcore.
Wow. Okay. You're getting serious. Holly, karaoke's tough to do over live stream. Wow. And thank you. Yeah. There's proof out there.
I only know late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000 rap or hymnals. It's one of the two.
What a combo.
You're going to have to pick one. It's either going to be the Marshall Mathers LP or Amazing Grace. So
that's amazing.
It takes two to make a thing go right, Seth. Okay. you can go back a little farther than that. All right, folks. This has been really fun. It's not our normal stream, as you can assume everything about Chief in the North. It is not going to be a normal stream. But Seth, I hope that you survive, and I'm glad that you're doing all right.
I'm feeling much better now. Anyone who's asking, it was well worth it just to have some fun and have some laughs. In the moment, I didn't feel like it was. I was just like, this was a mistake. And that's when I wasn't talking much, because it really did feel like 1,000 tiny needles. But no, this is always an adventure, and I'm glad we did this, and I hope to never do it again. I don't know. I'm going to need to figure something out about that ghost pepper.
Yeah.
Ben, seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
crud. Ben, you're so good. On the other hand, I may never be able to work again. If only anyone could help.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Interesting thing, and I had to go look it up while Seth was talking. One more thing to cover, you guys. Where did it go? Who put it up there? Was it Gooch or was it Stevie? Stevie and Gooch, by the way, we'll talk here later tonight. Evidently, Brandon Jacobs, the Florida running back, wants to come play defensive end somewhere.
Dude who's already built into defensive end, might as well.
Right? I'm just like, it's like, I think he sat back and was like, well, Tebow could do it. I could do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
No, why not?
An actual player.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is crazy.
Dude's stacked too. Like, he's absolutely
always
stacked.
was. Yep.
And still is.
Yeah. These guys, Brandon Jacobs was always like, he'd step on the field, you're like, that dude's a running back, huh?
It's
like Derrick Henry, but more so.
Yeah.
Like,
dude. I'll research it and I'll give you guys an opinion once I see, like, can he move? I don't even know how old he is. I'll have to go look him up.
He's 39.
So. He's 39. Man, there's hope for me too.
There's always hope, man.
I just need to get knocked out once to collect a pension, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
We'll figure it out. Gooch, no, this is not a food channel. I have a food channel coming for you from a dear person to me. It's going to be called Cook Time. It will be here on YouTube this summer. Get prepared, all you barbecue pit masters and folks that like those Blackstone griddles. We're going to have content for you. It's going to be cool.
That's awesome.
Ben, thank you. I can't say thank you enough. Cheers.
Yes. Thank you.
For everyone else, including all that helped us out tonight and watched this monstrosity that is self-inflicted pain. We will be back to football next week. That is if Seth makes it through the next 24 hours. So
yeah, I'm a live update at some point. You know what? It's a great day to be a Chiefs fan and eat food that almost kills you.
And you belong. Let's see. How am I doing this?
Well, that actually is supposed to have an arrow pointing towards my toilet at this point. So,
Oh,
Yeah, he's right
you
there.
belong there. Yeah, and you better go find that. All right, folks, you have a great night. We'll talk to you. Danilo's got something for you tomorrow, and we'll be back next week.